So far, in our look back at some of the hidden stories of the Lady Pane for women's suffrage in Beds, Herts and Bucks, we've heard how Kate Fry, Elizabeth Impey and Amy Walmsley's lives were transformed as they began to help organise the societies and meetings of the movement. But it was women of all ages whose imagination was captured by the idea of votes for women.
The schoolgirl suffragette was a young girl who was 14 called Ellen Cross, and her father was station master at Nebworth, so she lived in the station master's house, and she went to school every day by train to Stevenage. One evening she was sitting in Stevenage station waiting room doing her homework, and a rather smartly dressed woman came in who had on a sash in the suffrage colours, the white, purple and green. And they got talking, and this woman told Ellen that she was Emily Davidson and she was on her way to Nebworth for a suffrage meeting. I think it was an outdoor meeting very near the station. So Ellen, as soon as she got home, she was very excited by what Emily Davidson had told her on that very short train ride, just a few minutes really, from Stevenage to Nebworth, but it was long enough to really kind of I won't say change the course of her life, but certainly you could say that possibly. She inveigled her parents and argued with them to be let out to go to this meeting, which she did do, and then she became just really more interested in the whole cause of votes for women, and got to know Constance Lytton, who I think was rather taken with this very keen young schoolgirl. Ellen wanted to go to London. Her parents wouldn't let her to start with on some of the big marches, but eventually she did manage to go on a march, and Constance Lytton gave her a little silver suffragette badge which she treasured. But the kind of most interesting thing about all this was that the person she spoke to in the Stevenage waiting room and on the train back to Nebworth was Emily Davidson, who was the woman who later threw herself under the King's horse in 1913 and was crushed to death. She got so interested in the cause and kind of taken up by Constance Lytton that actually it made her the butt of some jokes amongst some of her school friends, or those who weren't her friends possibly, because it was a very divisive issue at the time, and a lot of people were, as we know, hugely against the idea that women should have the vote at all.